Pink rectangles will draw your attention to a specific part of the display. Green. Continue the lesson flow by selecting the Next button or a chapter of your choice. Continue the lesson flow by selecting the Next button or a chapter of your choice. Pink rectangles will draw your attention to a specific part of the display. Green rectangles are interactive. Start by selecting within the green frame. Just like Lido eRoute manual, Lido AMM has been developed as a hardware-neutral application usable on different types of hardware platforms. Depending on the electronic flight bag and configuration used by your airline, the functionalities of Lido AMM may differ slightly from those shown in this course. Now your aircraft position will be displayed on familiar Lido eRoute manual charts. Check the AMM data type cycle and validity. Lido AMM relies on the availability and validity of airport maps. Select the Data Status button in the top bar. To check the database cycle and validity for the AMM data type in the Data Center panel. After verifying the AMM data is up to date, you can insert the data for your flight. Setting up the airport for your flight is no different from the procedure you are familiar with from using Lido eRoute manual. Your company may not have selected all airports to be available for Lido AMM. If an airport map for Lido AMM is available, it will automatically appear through an AMM button located within the airport clipboard. Any airport map available for Lido AMM can always be found as the second button from top and beneath the Add Charts button. If an airport for Lido AMM is not available, then the AMM button will not appear. First, we will have a look at the departure airport map for a briefing. To bring up the airport moving map, select the airport, which will bring up the airport clipboard. Then select the AMM button. This will bring up the airport moving map. If your company has not selected all airports to be available on AMM, those airports will not have an AMM button in the airport clipboard. Let's have a closer look at the Own Ship symbol displayed on the map. The cockpit position is represented by the apex of the directional Own Ship symbol. The symbol points in the direction of the aircraft's heading. The non-directional Own Ship symbol may be displayed when the aircraft is on the ground and not all aircraft data parameters are available to Lido AMM. The cockpit position cannot be derived from the non-directional Own Ship symbol. The center of the circle displays the aircraft position through its GPS antenna. If the non-directional Own Ship symbol is displayed, some Lido AMM functionalities are not supported. We will cover this later. Note, Lido AMM automatically removes the Own Ship symbol from the airport map in case of the aircraft position lost. When an airport map is called up for display for the first time, it is shown in its entirety. The map is displayed at the maximum zoom out level in north-up mode, oriented to magnetic north. Each airport displayed in Lido AMM has a number of zoom levels. The number of available zoom levels depends on the geometrical size of an airport. Small airports with only one runway may offer only 3 zoom levels, whereas larger airports with 4 or more runways may have up to 8 zoom levels. The first digit in the indicator represents the current zoom scale. The second digit indicates the number of available zoom levels for the displayed airport. Selecting the plus button zooms in, and selecting the minus button zooms out. The center position of the map remains the same when the plus and minus buttons are used to zoom. The current zoom level and the number of available zoom levels for the particular airport map is displayed in the indicator between the zoom buttons. The small circle on the scale underneath the zoom scale indicator will move along the scale when focus mode is engaged. It will indicate the current map scale in relation to the predefined zoom levels. If no more zoom levels are available, the relevant button will be faded out. Zooming into a region on the map can also be performed using the Area Zoom button. To use this function, select the Area Zoom button. Then draw an imaginary box on the area you want to zoom into on the airport map. Upon releasing the dashed box, the selected map area will automatically select the next highest zoom level corresponding to the selection. If the selected area is too big to fit in a higher zoom level, then the next zoom level will be automatically selected and the airport map will be positioned at the center of the selection. The Area Zoom button is selectable in both North Up and Track Up orientation modes. Two map orientation modes, North Up and Track Up, are selectable via the Map Orientation toggle button when the aircraft is on the ground and Lido AMM is able to retrieve reliable aircraft position information. North Up mode is the default map orientation mode upon Lido AMM startup. It shows a static magnetic north-oriented map. The aircraft symbol moves and rotates on the static airport map. The North Up mode is the only mode available when the aircraft position and heading is unavailable. To see Track Up mode, select the Map Orientation toggle button to activate the function. In the Track Up mode, the on-ship symbol is static and points to the top of the display, while the underlying airport map moves and rotates. In the Track Up mode, you can drag the map in any desired direction. The AMM will automatically recenter to the on-ship position after a few seconds when no drag action is performed. Should the on-ship symbol not be centered on the display, you can select the Recenter button. The Recenter button can be selected in both North Up and Track Up modes. The Layer button shows or hides the annotation bar, which offers functionalities to mark taxiways or runways as closed and to annotate airport features on the map. When the Layer button is selected, a toolbar will appear on the left side of the display. To mark taxiways or runways as closed, select the Mark Taxiway Runway button. To activate the Mark Taxiway Runway function, by selecting the applicable taxiway identifier and/or runway designator, a red cross will be placed on the identifier or designator. All placed crosses can be removed individually by selecting on the applicable identifier or designator again, or you can delete all placed crosses at once by selecting the Delete All Closed Markings button. A message will be displayed for you to confirm the deletion of all cross markings on taxiways and runways. Select Delete to confirm deletion. Note, all crosses on taxiways and runways will also be removed if the Lido eRoute manual application is shut down, restarted, or if the corresponding airport is removed from the navigation bar through the Remove Airport button via the Airport clipboard. In addition to marking taxiways and runways as closed with crosses, AMM allows you to place pins at any position on the airport map. To place the pin, you need to activate the Place Pin button. Select the point of interest on the airport map. Every selection on the airport map will result in the placement of a pin. Each placed pin can be annotated to include text. To do so, the Edit Pin button needs to be activated. Upon selecting the placed pin, an annotation window will be opened presenting an editing scratchpad and virtual keyboard. You can enter up to 34 characters of text. Assuming you want the de Gaulle Tower frequency for this pin, we will add it for you. Upon selecting the Accept button, the annotation window will be removed. The edited pin will then depict a T to indicate that text has been added to the pin. To emphasize the importance of information, the color of a pin can be changed from the default black color to green or orange. To do so, if the annotation window is not opened, select the Edit Pin button. Reselect the pin. Now select the Color button on the annotation window. Select the orange color from the three options on the drop-down menu. Then select the Accept button. As a result, you have changed the color from the default black to orange. Where desired, a pin can be referenced to an airport feature in its close proximity. To do so, if the annotation window is not opened, select the Edit Pin button. Reselect the pin. The word None will be shown if no dependency was set before. Select the Set button on the annotation window. Select Taxiway Delta Alpha 1 from the available options on the drop-down menu. Now the pin is connected to Taxiway Delta Alpha 1. Select the Accept button. A T will be shown for text and/or dependency. To display the full text and dependency, select the pin. The full text and dependency will also be displayed when the zoom level is set to maximum. An unlimited number of pins can be displayed in close proximity to each other. Only one pin will be displayed with a numeral inside the pin to indicate the number of pins at this location. If at least one of the pins has an annotation, a T is displayed next to the pin. Pins can be individually removed by activating the Remove Single Pin button and selecting the corresponding pin. Where multiple pins are represented by a single pin, a container listing all pins will be displayed. Individual pins can then be deleted from the container. All placed pins can be deleted by selecting the Delete All Pins button. A confirmation message will appear. Select Delete to confirm deletion of all pins. Note, pins and their annotations will be removed if the Lido eRoute manual application is shut down or restarted, or if the corresponding airport is removed from the navigation bar through the Remove Airport button via the Airport clipboard. To hide the annotation bar from the display, select the Layer button. Let's take a look at the Taxi Destination button. To highlight and define your taxi destination on the airport map, select the Taxi Destination button. The Taxi Destination window allows you to toggle between the Runway Selection and Parking Stand Selection windows. When airborne, only the Parking Stand Selection button is enabled. When you are on the ground, you can select either of the buttons. The Runway Selection window lists all runways available at that particular airport. Choose your anticipated departure runway by selecting the corresponding runway button. And confirm your selection by using the Accept button. Lido AMM will identify this runway as your taxi destination and automatically highlight its runway designator. A selected runway can be deselected by selecting the corresponding button again or by selecting a different runway as the new anticipated departure runway in the Runway Selection window. An anticipated departure runway can also be selected or deselected on the airport map directly by selecting the runway designator. A parking stand can be selected in a similar way. Now select the Taxi Destination button. When the Parking Stand Selection button is selected, a list of all published parking stands at the airport is displayed. The All button allows the display of all parking stands available at the respective airport. A Filtering button allows arranging of parking stands by their first alphabetical identifier. Should a button for the first alphabetical identifier filtering not be present, then these parking stands can be found by selecting the Other button. All parking stands are listed in numerical order followed by alphabetical order. Where not all parking stands can be displayed at once, a scroll bar is available. Now filter for parking stand Whiskey 01 by selecting the Other button. Follow up by using the scroll bar to look for the parking stand. Select the required parking stand followed by the Accept button to confirm your selection. As a result, parking stand Whiskey 01 is highlighted. Any selected parking stand will be highlighted regardless of the zoom level. A selected parking stand can be deselected by selecting the corresponding button again or by selecting a different parking stand as the new anticipated parking stand in the Parking Stand Selection window. A selected parking stand can also be deselected on the airport map directly by selecting the highlighted parking stand label. When the display of Lido AMM is at its maximum zoom level, you can define a parking stand as the taxi destination directly on the airport map by selecting the corresponding parking stand label. Lido AMM is capable of displaying the on-ship position and the taxi destination simultaneously on the airport map when required. To use this function, a taxi destination has to be defined and the Track Up mode must be active to enable the Focus button on the top bar. When the Focus button is selected, Lido AMM will automatically pan and change the zoom level to depict the on-ship position and the selected taxi destination on the airport map. The Focus function can be deactivated by deselecting the Focus button or selecting the Zoom In-Out buttons, Area Zoom button, or recentering the on-ship position through the Recenter button. Changing the map orientation to North Up mode will disable the Focus button. All communication frequencies for airport ground operations can be retrieved for display by selecting the COM button on the lower right side of the airport map. The COM box lists all frequencies found on the AGC, APC, and LVC charts. The frequency box can be dragged to any desired location on the airport map. The box can be closed by either selecting the box itself or the COM button again. Lido AMM provides an arming function which will automatically remove any chart from Lido eRoute manual and display Lido AMM to reduce pilot workload and enhance safety during aircraft operations. Lido AMM incorporates features and functionalities to minimize the risk of a runway incursion. The arming function will automatically activate in the following scenarios: approaching a runway safety area, takeoff roll from a non-anticipated departure runway, upon rejected takeoff roll, after takeoff, and upon landing. A runway safety area is defined as the runway area enclosed within the Cat 1 or Cat 2 or 3 holding line, whichever is closer to the runway for precision approach runways and general runway hold point lines for non-precision runways. We learned earlier how to select a parking stand or anticipated departure runway. If an anticipated runway is defined as a Taxi 2 destination and the aircraft appears to be on a takeoff roll on a runway not defined as the departure runway, then any displayed chart in Lido eRoute manual will be automatically removed to display the airport map together with an alert message. The arming function will be activated anytime the aircraft ground speed exceeds 40 knots on the non-anticipated departure runway. Note, it is recommended to always define the current anticipated departure runway in Lido AMM to avoid any unnecessary disturbances during the takeoff roll. Lido AMM will remove any displayed Lido eRoute manual chart during a rejected takeoff roll. Preconditions for arming for a rejected takeoff roll are a ground speed of at least 80 knots being achieved, followed by an aircraft deceleration of 10 knots or more. When these conditions are met, the arming function will be activated and the respective airport map will be displayed. If Lido AMM is displayed during the takeoff roll, and the aircraft becomes airborne, the arming function will be automatically activated once the aircraft passes the airport boundary. Lido AMM will be removed to display the last viewed Lido eRoute manual page. Note, if no Lido eRoute manual chart was displayed prior to the arming function activation, then the eRoute map will be displayed. To support the crew in identifying the next suitable runway exit upon landing, Lido AMM will automatically switch to airport map when the aircraft decelerates through 80 knots. The respective airport map will be displayed at 2 zoom levels lower than the maximum zoom level, in the track up mode and without an own-ship symbol. As the aircraft further decelerates through 38 knots, the own-ship symbol will be displayed and the map will automatically transition to 1 zoom level below the maximum zoom level. Let's continue with the AMM advisory and alert functions. Lido AMM displays a number of advisory and alert messages. There will be no audio in the aircraft. Lido AMM will be automatically displayed whenever the aircraft is approaching a runway safety area. This runway safety area begins at the Cat 1 or Cat 2-3 holding line, whichever is closer to the runway, for precision runways and general holding point lines for non-precision runways. Lido AMM will be automatically displayed whenever the aircraft is approaching a runway safety area. This runway safety area begins at the Cat 1 or Cat 2-3 holding line, whichever is closer to the runway, for precision runways and general holding point lines for non-precision runways. Lido AMM takes aircraft heading into account and will activate the arming function and display approach runway together with the runway identifier at a distance of approximately 50 meters prior to reaching the respective runway holding line. At some airports with intersecting runways, the approach runway message may appear upon crossing the respective holding line. This advisory message will be displayed in Lido AMM in track up mode together with the own ship symbol. The message will disappear once the aircraft has stopped or crossed the respective holding line. Lido AMM displays an on-runway message whenever the aircraft is on a runway surface and not aligned with plus or minus 25 degrees of the runway bearing. The message is displayed as long as the aircraft remains on the runway surface. No advisory message is displayed after landing while the aircraft is maneuvering on the runway. If the aircraft ground speed exceeds 40 knots on any airport surface other than a runway, Lido AMM will activate the arming function to display the message on taxiway. This alert message will be displayed in the track up mode together with the own ship symbol. The message will automatically disappear once the aircraft has decelerated below 40 knots or continues to accelerate above 80 knots. The arming function will not be activated, nor will the message be displayed once the aircraft has crossed the Cat 1 or Cat 2-3 holding line of the anticipated departure runway. Lido AMM displays an on-runway advisory message together with the runway identifier whenever the aircraft is aligned within plus or minus 25 degrees of the respective runway bearing. If the runway is defined as the anticipated departure runway, the advisory message is displayed in green for 7 seconds. If the runway is not defined as the anticipated departure runway, the message is displayed in orange and remains displayed while the aircraft remains on the respective runway. Lido AMM monitors the aircraft movement on runways and taxiways. If the aircraft ground speed exceeds 40 knots while maneuvering on a non-anticipated departure runway, Lido AMM will activate the arming function to display the message Confirm Runway. This alert message will be displayed in track up mode together with the own ship symbol. The message will automatically disappear once the aircraft decelerates below 40 knots or continues to accelerate above 80 knots. An important topic is degraded Lido AMM behavior. In the event aircraft position is lost, the own ship symbol will be removed from the display of Lido AMM, and the airport map will automatically transition to north up mode. In addition to the removal of the symbol and map rotation, you have 2 message indications. The first message stays at the upper left-hand part of the screen for as long as the aircraft position information is not available. The second message is an interactive prompt for safety reasons that has to be acknowledged before navigating with Lido AMM again. If aircraft heading information is lost, Lido AMM will automatically display a non-directional aircraft own-ship symbol. Secondly, Lido AMM will transition to a north-up orientation mode. In addition to the symbol change and map rotation, you have two message indications. The first message stays at the upper left-hand part of the screen for as long as the heading information is not available. The second message is an interactive prompt for safety reasons that has to be acknowledged before navigating with Lido AMM again. Lido AMM will inform you through an interactive prompt if aircraft position and/or heading is available again. Lido AMM depends on the availability of a valid AMDB, or Airport Mapping Database. There may be multiple reasons for Lido AMM to be unavailable. The database may be outdated or data may be corrupted. This will be indicated by a red X on the data status icon in the Data Center panel. Lido AMM validates AMDB data when Lido eRoute manual is started. Should it detect any indication of false data, Lido AMM will disable all AMM functions, including the depiction of all airport maps. You will be informed either through an invalid AMM data message or a corrupted AMM data message, and the AMM button on the airport clipboard will be invisible. Should a single airport have corrupted data, the AMM button will be disabled in the corresponding airport clipboard. The remaining airports remain operational. Let's bring it all together. Now that you have seen all the possibilities of Lido AMM, we would like to ask you a few questions about using the application. To qualify, answer 4 questions correctly. Select Next when you're ready to start. What happens to the own ship symbol when heading information is lost? Mark the correct answer. Sorry, that's not correct. The triangular own ship symbol, which points in the direction of your heading, will turn into a non-directional circle when heading information is lost. Where or when is this orange message triggered? Well done. The safety area. What happens when you line up on the departure runway and the runway is selected for takeoff in Lido AMM? Congratulations, a green confirmation will appear. What happens when approaching a runway while you are looking at an AGC, APC, or SID chart? Good selection. Lido AMM will appear. When is the own ship symbol displayed? Nicely done, you know the speed. Congratulations, you have successfully passed the qualification. We wish you a pleasant flight with Lido AMM.